Hello everyone, this is Narain's Life with MS. I am Narain and it's time for the conclusion of Travel Diaries Season 2. As you can see from my background, I am back home. And of course, what does that mean? That means that, it ended, took a flight, came back home. Um, and I just really want to recap everything that happened in the quantum shift event because the one thing that actually ended up happening once I got home and started narrating my experiences, I realized that it went so much deeper than just the act of meditating, the act of manifesting, the act of doing so many things because yes, meditation is a very important thing. Manifestation is of course another very, very important thing. But the ground reality of all of this work is that if you are meditating to get to a higher level, to get to as they call it, your divine self, there are definitely a lot of things in between that not only you have to visualize, but then you have to point out a lot of those things in yourself that need to get addressed. And the more I internalize this entire experience, the more I realize, what are some of the things that I really do need to fix, right? I mean, one thing, and I know the list I'm going to probably that list I'm going to share is probably a little too short. The list I share will definitely not be exhaustive by any means, and I'm pretty sure as I say this, there are lots of people out there who are probably in the process of sharpening their pencils so that they can write, a strongly worded letter to me. And rest assured, the one thing I definitely learned this weekend, uh, especially, you know, doing, doing some worksheets, was that, if I do get a strongly worded letter in my mail, chances are I'm probably not going to write back with a handwritten letter because, I mean, it's one thing if you can't understand it, but I couldn't understand my own handwriting. So it's we're on that level of discussion over here. But yeah, I mean, apart from that, the one thing I definitely gained, apart from an appreciation of every single person that was there, from the fellow attendees to all of the amazing volunteers that were there that were able to help me out, to of course the people leading this entire event. I just wanted to give a huge shout of thank you, just because you know no amount or no words can really qualify for everything that I experienced in the past, you know, 2 days, right? 2 full days, right? If it went from 12 p.m. Friday to 12 p.m. Sunday. So in the 2 full days and going through, quite a few meditation sessions, um, really looking internally, and sure, I evaluated my own um, actions, my own um, personality, so to speak. I realized that there are a lot of things that may or may not have been written there, and they were, and not only in terms of written, but they were probably other things that I started thinking about that I could fix in myself, because at the end of the day, um, like this whole thing is about, what like the whole idea of manifestation is about. um, the point is, you want something in the world, start acting like it already belongs to you. And I can't ask for, let's say, the concept of inner peace if the first thing that comes out of my mind, or the first thing that comes out of my mouth, or even my mind for that instant, um, is a bunch of expletives. And so as a result, I just realized that there are 1,001 things in addition to everything I wrote in my worksheets that are illegible. um, but I think that's for a good reason. That yes, there are 101 things, or 1,001 things that also do need to be addressed. And as a result, this is just the start. And I think me actually having certain meditation practices that I can put into effect, certain meditation practices that I can you know use to calm myself down, to really go deep um, into my thoughts, and into my memories, and really see where each of these issues, each of the things that I envisioned getting fixed, where do they stem from? Because a lot of times, sure, there are certain things that I can attribute to having multiple sclerosis, but a lot of it is also a personality I developed as a result of you know me growing up, right? Me examine me developing a certain personality, me um, doing all of these things. So it definitely did give me a lot to introspect about. And as a result, I did learn a great new tool that I can use to pretty much see where the root cause is, or what the root cause is, and fix that first, right? And and I say this in the nicest possible way to myself, using the nicest language to myself, that I am also unbelievably stubborn. So there is, of course, that main issue that I need to address first before I even embark on this journey of going about to fix each and every issue that I can probably uncover with meditation, and start looking to fix those issues. So yes, I do definitely have a lot of homework on the personal angle level. And it's funny that I say that there's a lot of homework, considering that I have homework from a lot of other things as well. But that is one takeaway that I can definitely make about um, the quantum shift event. And uh, it definitely is an eye-opener, because at the end of the day, um, when we do look at ourselves, and especially us from a more human angle, the one that is a little more flawed in its approach of evaluating ourselves. We are not only the victims, but we are also the perfect ones. So, the I think that is where the hardest part comes into the picture, where you know how do we get over that? How do we look at our own selves in that critical eye, where we can say, you can be the hero of your story, but don't look at yourself as the perfect specimen, and don't look at yourself as a victim at the same time as you are the perfect specimen. So, in that way, because they kind of contradict each other. So this is, just a little tiny little journey I made, because there is, of course, a lot more depth to me saying all of these things, to me really exploring um, this idea of who I am, what all do I need to fix. And of course, while yes, there is going to be a lot of meditation, there is going to be a lot of um, future planning, or manifestations in the future. At least there are going to be some, there is going to be some foundational corrections in my own abilities, in my own personality, that you know that I will have to start, so that I can look forward to achieving all of the rest. So that is one thing that I do want to share from this travel diaries. And as I say all of this, definitely I notice that you know my shoulders feel a little lighter, my legs also feel a little lighter. So hopefully the just admitting all of these things to myself. And like I said, this is I didn't even give a list for that matter, but everything that I was thinking, everything that I was kind of conceiving in my head, that in itself is not exhaustive, right? I mean, there will be people who have known me for maybe 5 minutes who can write a list long enough to cover every single tree on earth once it gets turned into paper. So if there are that many things, there has to be some level of saying, yes, I'll get to as many of them as possible, but of course I will need a little bit of time. So there are a lot of things there out there. There are a lot of um, corrections I have to do. There is a lot of uh, overcorrections I have to do. And of course there are also a few things that I also need to realize, that I am not so much the victim as the perpetrator. So with all of that said, there is a lot more work that I foresee in the future. And considering that um, that work tends to involve a lot of time in my day, um, it's going to be interesting to see how I actually manage all of these things together. So with that said, that is sort of a summary of all of my learnings in the quantum shift event. And this is really something that comes after the event, once the wind has blown over, once everything has settled down, once I can say, okay, fine, once I can actually say that, yes, I'm going to go to bed straight after this, because so much time has passed, and there definitely has been not enough time that I've given myself to you know, to rest and actually go even deeper into this. So, with that said, um, do share your thoughts, do share your insights, do share your experiences with all of these things that, um, you know, this kind of event kind of brought out in you, right? I mean, there are so many things that you can really uncover as a result of just closing your eyes, maybe listening to music or listening to something, um, so that you can concentrate on going deeper into your own personality and seeing where the snags are, where the road isn't as smooth, so that you can actually try and make yourself a better person. So that is something that I'm working out on, and or something that I'm working on. And of course, I would love to get your opinion so that we can get the conversation started. But with that said, I did do hope that your weekend um, went very well. I hope you did something exciting, or if you didn't end up doing something exciting, that you actually got the much needed rest that you all deserve. And with that said, this is Naren Safitamas. I am Naren, and here's wishing you a good night, sweet dreams, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye.